Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Wednesday, October the 18th. The year's 2023. Let's talk trading. Stop the stupid with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and different from Walmal's. Walmal, we've been doing the trading stories that we tell ourselves for a few weeks now. But the other day when you and I were talking just over the phone, I had mentioned an article, and I think I even sent it to you, about how in life, if you stop the stupid, you will get so much further ahead than instead of trying to find something complex, fancy, quote unquote, intelligent to propel you forward.
You're exactly right. And it's funny. I'll relate this to sports a little bit at first, anyway. And I remember in gym class, and I think we were third graders, fourth graders, but there was some animosity. Let's just put it that way in the what they now call PE class. Back in the day, we used to call it gym class. But and what was happening was some kids were beating up other kids, and it wasn't like there was any meanness again. It was sort of like kids were just being stupid and being kids, and that's just what was happening. And I remember the gym teacher, Mr. McCartney. He came out one day and he just went and said, let me tell you something, boys. There's always going to be someone who's bigger and stronger and smarter than you, and is going to be able to whip your butt. So I would suggest finding different ways to go and deal with life, because eventually you may be on top today, but tomorrow you're not going to be. And that's just the reality of life. And I think there's a life lesson in that, because we sit there, at our desks in our little ivory towers that we build around us with the little stories we go and tell ourselves that, I've come up with the perfect method, I've come up with the perfect this, the perfect that, and then we create our charts, and, we got so much junk on our charts that you can't even see the candles anymore, you can't see the price anymore, and all we've done is made things so incredibly, complex. And at the same time, we can't even make decisions because, we talked about this idea, analysis by paralysis, meaning we can't even make decisions anymore because there's so much junk out there because we think we're so brilliant, And I think the point to that guy's article was the fact that, hey, guys, you know what? There's always someone smarter than you out there. And the reality is that, you can't necessarily go and play at that level, and let's just go and realize where we're at. Let's recognize the level we're at, and what we can do to be successful. It's just eliminating all the dumb and stupid mistakes we make, and if we just go and do that, that alone will go and solve a multitude of problems. It's sort of like I was in a trade over the last hour, and I really thought it was going to go and break the 2200. It did break the 2200, but I thought it was going to go and, break it and run up to like 2205, 2210. It actually at one point did get up to 2205, a little bit higher than that, but that was after that. When I went into the trade, I was thinking it was going to go back to that level, and I just convinced myself that that's what it was going to go and do. And Hero will go and vouch for that. It's a little silliness. So my brilliance was that, hey, I stayed in the trade, and it ran all the way down to, I want to go and say somewhere around 80 or something like that, or 75 actually, maybe even a little bit lower than that. But, the stupid part of that was that I stayed in that trade and rode it all the way down, or not quite all the way down. I did do the smart thing. I did follow my plan, and I got opportunities to take short trades along the way, and I took those short trades, and so I mitigated my damage and actually came up on top, even though it took a big loss. But the reality is I didn't need to take a big loss there. If it wasn't for my own pride, my own hubris, my own stupidity, I would have gotten out and would have taken a 20-tip loss. And with my wins that I took along the way, I think I think I said to you I get picked up like 39 or 40 pips, something like that on my wins. Took 20 pip loss. So yeah, I made 20 pips. I think I actually made 19 pips is what it really netted out to. But shoot, I could have made 39 pips on the whole deal if I would have done it the right way and wasn't so stupid to be so proud about who and what I thought it was going to go and do. But yeah, what I should have done was taking a 39 pip, win, and then or 40 pip win, and I should have taken a 5 or maybe a 10 pip loss, and I would have been so much better off. But we're we're, we're humans and we make mistakes, and we have to go and learn from that. What are we going to do? The thing is, it's always stupid if you don't go back to your trading plan and figure out how you're not going to violate what you just did. Now, did I violate any of my rules in terms of what I'm willing to lose for a day? No. Did I violate any rules in terms of what I'm willing to lose on a particular trade? Well, that's the one that's a little bit dicey, and I can say no, technically no, but it was obvious what the market was doing at that point in time. There was no question about it. So, that's the one that's questionable there, and probably I can justify both sides. So that tells me, hey, if I can justify both sides, I'm just trying to be prideful here at this point. Throw that out the window and just admit that you screwed up. At least that's how I look at life.
Yeah, in fact, if anything, I may have just screwed up by not following what I was thinking. As you were talking, I was flipping through the charts here to show the traders what was going on with the pivot points. So there was an open pivot here at 85, and at the time we were right around 75. I think I jumped in the trade at 76, and then it made a little pullback, so I jumped out just to take my 1 pip profit. Well, you see what happened since then. So it's just like, and that's part of being, I don't know, stupid in the sense that my stop loss was never threatened. So it's like price is either going my way or it's not. And if your stop loss is never threatened in any way, shape, or form, you should probably just, let the market do its thing. I mean, I could have, I got with so far, price got within 2 pips of the, or just about 2 pips of that pivot point. And I might at that point said, is it worth risking the 6 pips or more of gain to make that final 2? And it'd be like, no, not really. If I
and those are legitimate questions to ask yourself.
Yeah.
And that's not being stupid, at that point, because you're asking a legitimate question.
Right.
So the old expression, bird in hand is worth more than 2 in the bush.
Yeah. So in that particular case, I mean, looking at the chart, we had price was above indicator 2. It went in, put in a new high, and then when it for this or new relative high, and then you see it broke the previous relative high and then started pulling back. So there's plenty of reasons to say, you know what, probably time to get out of that trade, because look what happened, it's coming right back down.
Yep.
So that's a question. We talk about stories that we tell ourselves. Sometimes it's like questions we ask ourselves, and the question is, I've got all this profit potentially versus do I want to wait for that next 1 pip? And that's really kind of how we started that conversation on the phone, or at least it was part of the conversation, that sometimes we want that one last pip. Just give me that pip, and then all of a sudden, instead of being down by 1 pip, you're down by 5, down by 10, and it's just like stop the stupid, because if you take a 1 pip loss, I mean, you can make that up on the next trade. You take a 10 pip loss, it might take you 2 or more trades to make it up.
Exactly right. You're exactly right.
So it's like, stop the stupid.
Well, it's sort of like the 20 pip loss I took that I just admitted to you a few minutes ago. I mean, I was actually up 1.7 pips, but I had my TP set at 2 pips, and actually I had I moved it. If you remember, I moved my TP, and I moved it up because I was visions of grandeur. I moved it up to go and get 5 pips on it, and then as soon as it hit 1.7, turned around, flipped it, and just crashed. It's like, oh man, you silly guy.
Yeah, and and the stop the stupid can work both ways. It's not always that you do something stupid. Sometimes you fail to do something, and that failure is stupid. I mean, when we first got on the phone, you said something about going long. I said, man, I want to be short here so bad, up at 2,200. Did I take the short? Right. No. When I look back, it's like, why didn't I take that short? Well, what? So I was still probably half asleep because I'd only been awake about 15 minutes. But I mean, it was crossing the double O. It was crossing the H4 open. I mean, I had plus in the past couple of days, every time it's kind of failing to stay above the 2,200. It was coming out of a previous wick zone. I mean, I just had a ton of reasons to be short, and I didn't take the trade. That was stupid.
Right.
I mean, I could have put a short on it at 2,200, put a stop loss at 10 or 20, and just sat there and watched the market, make me 20 pips over the course of a half an hour or so.
Yeah, exactly. And it's and you had. You even listed off all the reasons why you should, and they were all legitimate reasons because they're all backed up by the charts. And so, being stupid sometimes it's just not reacting. It's not just the walking into a freight train. Sometimes it's not getting on the freight train.
No. Sometimes it's either walking in front of a freight train or missing the boat.
Yeah. That's true. But and that's part of trading, and I know that you aren't influenced by what I say, but the thing is, I had said at the same time, that I was really thought this thing was going to go up, and and this is just a warning to other traders: trade what you see, not what you're told, and because that could be really, really detrimental. Because the way I trade and the way somebody else trades are totally different. So we're seeing different things, and we're making decisions, money management decisions, risk appetite decisions, all types of decisions we're making for different reasons. And we can both be right going in two different directions, and that's something that we have to go and pay attention to. So making sure that you're not stupid sometimes is listening to your plan, looking at your plan, trading your plan, sticking to your plan, because that's the reason why you have a plan. If you're not going to go and follow your plan, why do you have a plan? Take it, throw it in the trash. Go do something else. It probably would be better off for you to go down to, they don't have these places very much anymore, but going down to the video store and going playing video games down at the video store. It'd be more profitable to you because you won't be burning money up, So either have a plan or don't.
Yeah, well, you can play on your phone for free, or at least some of them you can play for free.
That's true.
But you know what? The fastest 15 minutes in trading is just about over. So, the stop the stupid. So, I don't know, are any traders out there? Can you come clean to your fellow traders and say, hey, this is something that I've done in the past, or this is something I'm still struggling with? Because maybe if somebody else hears that, that somebody else is doing exactly what they're doing, they might be able to learn from it. So, fellow traders, as you're trading, just stop the stupid, because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So you go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.